Best of BGG. Boom, 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 boom. Best of BGG. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, that's when you get this close to the end of the year. It's just we all fall apart a little.
We're so loopy at this point.
It's all good. I am Mike.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph. It's time to talk about BoardGameGeek and the best of it.
That's right.
We can't do that again.
Okay, it's already good.
We're going to talk a little bit about the news, things that are going on with BoardGameGeek, some of the hottest games that are hitting people's brains and hands and things. Because at the end of the year, there's always a lot of stuff going on.
I don't know, the holidays, so we'll talk a little bit more about that during the news. Actually, speaking of news, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah. So one really cool bit of news is that our great and noble leader, Aldi, Scott Alden, the man behind the curtain that is BoardGameGeek, has put together a holiday gift guide. So if you're looking to get a game for a family member, a friend, and you're like, what might be some good games? Aldi has taken it and put it down into categories of like, if you like card games, maybe try the Crew Mission Deep Sea. If you like dexterity games, if you want a family game, specifically games for 5 to 6 players, there are all sorts of categories with great picks of different games that you can get. So I highly recommend you go check out the gift giving guide because it might give you some ideas of a game that you hadn't thought of that really fits a good category, and you might find a theme that will work really well for someone you know or for your dang self if you want to give yourself a gift, because you should give yourself a gift. So check out that holiday gift giving guide.
So another bit of news is that BGG is in the middle of their support drive. So BoardGameGeek is always going to be free. It's something that BoardGameGeek has committed to, but nonetheless, it takes a lot to put this thing on. We've been around with BGG long enough where we've seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and trust me, there is a ton that goes on to making this website work, and there are employees they have to pay, and one of the best ways they can do that is by having a support campaign, because let's be honest, we all use BGG a ton, and it's really, really awesome if you can kick them a couple bucks so they can keep this thing free and keep it moving how it's always been. And so there are a bunch of different things you can get. You can get some Geek Gold. If you pay $25 or more, you can get some ad blockers. Everyone loves ad blockers. You know, you can get different micro badges depending on how much you spend. It's really, really cool, and this really does help out. BGG is, I honestly think it's the most important thing in board gaming because it's where most of the information is. It's where you can find answers to how many times you've been to a board game, you're like, I don't know what rule this is. Let me look on BGG. And it turns out 4 people have asked that a specific rule, and now we can continue playing our game. It's a huge, huge resource, and so they put on a fundraiser every year. And if you can give, that'd be awesome because, I don't know, I love BGG. I hope you do too. So that is the news, but let's get down to the table and talk about the hotness.
The table's so hot. The hotness table. It's the hotness part of the video.
Yeah, good one.
Let's talk about the hottest games going on this month. These are the games that people are talking about, clicking on, discussing in forums.
We're on BGG French every day, and we always take a look at the hotness, and at the end of the month, we're kind of like, okay, cool, like what's been on the hotness, and we compile a list. Yeah, it's what people talking about, what we've seen. Let's go ahead and get number 10. This is the first one that's popped up. Here's Kingdom Death Monster. I'm not entirely sure exactly why. Maybe there's more stuff coming out for it, but I mean, it's Kingdom Death Monster. It's always, here's the thing, it's always near the top 10
Absolutely.
hotness.
It's never
because
far from the
people
mind.
love some Kingdom Death Monster. I mean,
we just exited kind of Halloween, so maybe people are doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe the holidays, maybe people think of like alien spaceship trauma, you know. Whatever it is, the point is that Kingdom Death Monster is
want to try it. Our friend has it, and we just haven't had a chance to sit down and try it. But I do want to try it. I like the minis in Kingdom Death Monster. I do mini painting. There's a couple times where I've been like, I would love to get my hands on this particular mini from Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh, okay.
Like, I really like the ones, I think it's in the prologue. It's like these cool ones. They all have like these lanterns. You can do some really cool object source lighting. So, Kingdom Death Monster seems cool. I've heard the game's actually pretty darn good. We just haven't had a chance to play it. Always wanted to, and just need to sit down with our friend and play it because he's got it's like a coffin. It's huge. It's massive.
Boxes on boxes on boxes.
Yeah, it's quite large.
What I was thinking of earlier was Nemesis, which he also has.
You were thinking of Nemesis. I was like, alien spaceships, huh? Interesting.
Monsters, you know.
All right.
Aliens could be monsters too.
They are.
Kingdom Death Monster's number 10. That's the point. Let's get to number 9.
So number 9 is interesting.
This is another one that's
it's always like 12
in the hotness. It's just not necessarily in the top 10. This is Spirit
Island. This one's like 11, 12 almost every single month. But it's been popping up in the top 10. So I'm like, you know what? It's going on the list.
It's such a highly regarded game. Yeah. And it's cool to see games like A Kingdom Death Monster or Spirit Island who are always around despite not being the newest games anymore. They're not like old or anything, but something like Spirit Island is just something that people love so much because it's such a hard co-op. It's really
it's a big game. It's a long game.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
I feel like there's a lot of co-ops and stuff, but like Pandemic feels like the kind of weight level that a lot of them
generally
live at.
Yeah.
This one just goes so heavy.
Because even if they're longer games, like something like a Zombie Side, they're not like heavy games.
Yeah,
they're just longer.
This
but
one
it's
gets into some stuff.
I mean, because we'll talk about it after the hotness. We'll talk about the most played games of the month. But like Spirit Island's 19. Yeah. On that list, it's like that shows how much this game gets played despite how big it is, you know, which is really cool. So we were like, all right, Spirit Island, let's go.
Way to be.
I know, Spirit Island, it's a cool game,
yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's why it's number 9 on the hotness.
Let's get number 8. Number 8's another game that's always kind of in the top like 20 or so, but doesn't generally pop in the top 10. Doesn't pop in a lot, and that's Arkham Horror, the card game.
Yeah.
I feel like
well loved.
Very well loved. It's like we bought a bunch of Lord of the Rings living card game back then. Arkham Horror was kind of like the next iteration of that, and now Marvel Champions is kind of like the next iteration of that. But people do still love. We've always liked the Lord of the Rings one because we're huge Lord of the Rings fans. Whereas the Arkham Horror Cthulhu thing was never been our.
But a lot of people really
like
enjoyed
it. Yeah,
and have really enjoyed the story that has kind of unfolded.
People love Arkham Horror the card, and people also love Marvel Champions and Lord of the Rings LCG. To be fair,
they're all really great. I really want to play Arkham Horror. It's like. I want to try it and stuff just to see because they are kind of similar. I played Marvel Champions last week, speaking of, and it's always like, well, how is this exactly the same or different? Because they are all different from each other.
Yeah.
But Arkham Horror is definitely one that's been well loved by people who have supported over the years.
Which is great. I mean, it's awesome. People really, really love it. So that's awesome. Arkham Horror, the card game, is number 8. Let's get number 7.
Number 7 is one that will be right near the top of our hotness
half
list.
These plays are just you, I feel like.
It is. I've been playing a lot. This is Cascadia.
Yeah.
So Cascadia has been getting into more and more people's hands, and it's been being played a lot by people.
Life is Cascadia.
And it's really fantastic. It's just such this is one thing I keep talking about is that it's such a playable game.
Yes.
You can play it and kind of play it.
And you can play it with basically everybody because it's so simple.
Yeah.
You grab a tile, you grab an animal, you put out, try score.
Yeah. Try to make the landscapes all match if you can and build big areas because that gets you points. The animals all want to be kind of assembled in different ways. Some want to be next to each other in groups, in a line or whatever. It's all kind of spatial puzzle stuff. But it's just really easy because the rules overhead is so simple. It's like put a tile down and then the new animal token you got, if a tile shows that animal, you can plop it down on any of them. Now you might want to put one in one spot over another for strategic purposes, but it's very easy to tell what you can do. And then you get to spend the time saying, what should I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is always a really great thing for a game.
It's so good. I mean, I think this is going to be an evergreen for a while. I think Cascadia is going to be one of those games that's going to stick around.
It has to be an evergreen for me. Like, I'll play that anytime with anybody over and over because it's just a fun puzzle every single time.
Every single time. That's why it's number 7. Bam. Let's get number 6.
So number 6 is Lost Ruins of Arnak.
It's always here.
It's always around, but of course it's being propelled by the expansion.
I think in the next couple of months,
it's starting to get out to people.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be hitting the U.S. market in like January or so, maybe February.
Nick, I'm not.
I think at that point,
I said this recording, we're probably gonna have it in our hands with 1 week.
That's true. That's probably true. Yeah, we are getting to play a little early, which we're very happy about. But nonetheless, it's gonna be hitting the States in a couple months or so. And so, yeah, it's going to be like, it's probably going to go near the top.
I expect it to be around for a
while. We love Lost Ruins of Arnak. Absolutely adore it. We're super excited about the expansion. This and another game that's always on the list, which will come up a little later. It's just people love it. It's on BGA. It's played on BGA all the time. People absolutely adore this game, and so do we.
Good theme, good mechanisms. It makes a nice package.
It just works out. Lost Ruins of Arnak is number 6. It'll probably be here next month. Yeah, almost assuredly. Let's get number 5. Number 5 is to us, our favorite version of this game. Well, I guess there's only 2 versions, but this is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. But it's hopping up all the highest. Yeah, we like Terraforming. We like Terraforming Mars in general. I just love the engine building aspect of Terraforming Mars.
It's great.
And Ares Expedition just kind of like expedited the whole process, right? Just smoothed it out. Kept all the engine building parts of Terraforming Mars we love so much. Kind of took away the board, but I didn't really care about that part that much anyway, personally. No. And just kept that and then streamlined it a little bit, and we just absolutely adore it. And to be fair, a lot of people
follow mechanic situation is always something really good.
It's got that
not every phase is going to carry out every round.
No. And there's so much of it. One thing I love about Ares Expedition, especially in a 2-player game. In a 4-player game or more, a lot of the actions are going to get taken every turn, right? But in a 2-player game, only 2 or maybe 1 is. Yeah. And so I really love I really think Mike is going to play the development action. So I'm going to do this one because I want to do both, but I think he's going to do that. So I'm going to choose this one instead. And I really love that aspect of the game. And I don't know, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is, to me, it's the one I want to play at this point.
Propels forward at a great rate.
It's really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that's our preferred way to play. That is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Indeed. Number 5.
Let's get number 4.
Nick, I got a real mind bug about something right now. This is Mind Bug, number 4. This is a new 2-player kind of tactical, like, dueling card game with different designers, including Richard Garfield, which always captures people's attention.
Indeed.
For good reason. So this is a game where you're going to be playing out, like, hybrid animals, these weird, funky combo animals. They're kind of fun. And I would say kind of like King of Tokyo vibe a little bit, where they're just having fun with it, kind of cartoony and stuff. And they're going to have abilities and strength and stuff like that. And I'm trying to reduce your health to 0, and same for you and me. But at any point, if I play one of my most powerful cards, you have and I have these 2 Mind Bug cards, which will take control of that creature.
Interesting concept.
And turn it back on yourself. So it's the whole thing of like, of course I want to play my big powerful card, but I don't want it to get played against me. So how and when do you, I would imagine you're trying to like go fishing and get you to play out some of those Mind Bug cards and then play my big cards. So it kind of creates this situation.
Very interesting idea for kind of a 2-player dueling game.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that it kind of takes care of some of the oh, you got better cards than I did or whatever. It's just like, well,
because any card game,
my better card might not be my biggest asset.
Yeah.
You know, because you get turned. So I'm like, that's really interesting.
You're always subject to RNG, right? With card draws. It's like sometimes Michael draw the perfect card, I draw crap. And you're like, well, cool, that was fun.
Thanks for drawing that perfect card for yourself. That's now good for me.
Yeah, and so that's kind of an interesting way to mitigate that. I think I'm curious. I like the look of this one too. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm down. So it sounds interesting. Mind Bug's number 4. It's kind of all over the place right now. And so we're like, all right, let's see how this thing
I want to know more. I want to know more.
Yeah. All right, let's get number 3. Number 3 is always here. It's Dune Imperium.
Dune Imperium, being propelled, of course, by the House of Ix.
Timothy Chalamet's jawline. He's got a very pointy chin. He's all chin. It's very pointy. Very pointy chinny lad.
Very pointy chin. It's a good game that people quite like. Now there's expansion materials.
How we feel about Wonka?
I'm loving it. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Are we?
Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, of course.
Are we all in?
That's not anything what we're talking about.
He looks like he's 16.
He is like 16.
I know, but that's weird.
It's about young Wonka. I'm all in on young Wonka. I'm all in on that movie. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Dune Imperium. Likely is popular again because of Willy Wonka. It is, and because of that Willy Wonka news.
That's true.
Because of also the movie came out. There's other Dune games which reinforce Dune Imperium. There's also an expansion for Dune Imperium, which is starting to get into people's hands.
It's been in the hotness. It's been in the top 10 hotness for like over a year.
Yeah.
Like this and Lost Words of Arnak, we always bring up because they've been in the hottest every month for a year. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah, people keep
loving these games.
Well, and also the other thing that happened is people finally got their
that's true
resource upgrades and stuff, which was long delayed, as many things are these days. But that big box is like pretty sweet, and so I think that also is like jacked up the interest a little bit.
It's all here. It's all here.
You know?
Dune Imperium. It's people love it. Absolutely adore it. So it's fine. I think it's fine.
I like it more than Nick, but yeah,
it's fine.
That's okay.
That's Dune Imperium. 100% a game.
It's the number 3 game, in fact, for this month's hotness. Let's go ahead and get number 2. Nick, what? Have you ever wanted to stop a ghost?
Always.
And return them to their humanity?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing in Vagrantsong,
Nick.
And this game, it's got a really cool style to it. I watched a review of it recently. It's
got a really cool
battler game. It's a campaign game, actually. Yeah. You have to go through a campaign. You're playing the same character and you get abilities and stuff. You all kind of have some basic abilities. Of course, like you might be better at certain actions like investigating than I do. But it's got great style.
Yes,
it's got these good acrylic standees and stuff. The art style is really cool. You pull these tokens out that might give you certain actions and stuff. They kind of control the haint, they call it, the ghost. And it comes in a little bindle because you're all these like vagrants. You're kind of like, you like literally like they call it like there's things in it called like hobo power and stuff. And it's just like, but kind of like old timey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is a really cool package. I saw the review for it because I saw it pop up on the hotness. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I had heard from the Dice Tower did a review, and I was like, this seems really cool.
It's super interesting.
I love the style. I'm personally very interested. The only thing I'm just like, that's a campaign game. And I love the idea of campaign games, but we don't do well with those. And so I'm like, maybe we'll have to do a speed run of it.
Yeah, we'll speed run it.
We do speed runs, we play through some. Maybe that'll be the way that we can get it done.
We'll speed run
I love the package. I'm just like, this is such a good kind of like feels like Cuphead style art or like Steamboat Willie
stuff. Yeah.
I love that style so much.
Yeah, me too. I like it a lot.
I really want to try this one. Vagrantsong looks like a beautiful package, and you're returning humanity to ghosts by punching them in the face.
That's great.
Sometimes you gotta do. You
Best way to do it.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You know, that's beautiful.
All right, that's number 2. Let's get number 1. Number 1 is the next big T game from Board and Dice, and this is Tabannusi. There's also a giveaway going on for Tabannusi right now as a contest. That's also keeping it. But this has been number 1 of the hotness for most of the month. I mean, it really was. This is kind of starting to hit people's hands. This is also, you can only get it through BGG right now, I think. This and Zapatech, which is super cool.
I think you're doing the pre-order for Tabannusi.
Yes, through BGG.
And Zapatech is exclusively through BGG through March.
Yeah, through March. That's what exactly it is. And we actually played Tabannusi the other day, and we really liked it a lot. It's again one of those big T games. It's kind of, it's not quite as heavy as like Tekenu, but more on the lines of like Teotihuacan or maybe like Tuatansuyu. Probably Tuatansuyu is where it is heavy wise. And we really liked it a lot. It's very cool the way it works.
Yeah, it's kind of resource management stuff. You're kind of drafting these dice, which different colors represent different resources.
And you're building out projects, but other people can build your projects into buildings, and it's cheaper if you build someone else's projects, which is like a super interesting concept.
About this kind of symbiosis between you and your opponents.
Where a lot of times it kind of feels like a cooperative game, but it's not. And it's a very interesting game, but it's been at the top of the hottest because it's a big T game from Board and Dice. Those are always popular. And again, there's a contest going on, and again, check it out through BGG because that's where you can get it right now.
Bam! Go get after this. Tabannusi, Builders of Earth. Number 1 of the hotness. And now let's talk about not necessarily the hottest games, but often these are on here.
These are
the most played games.
The most played games. Let's go over the 10 most played games of the month. These are people who log their games on BGG. So if you want to manipulate this list, start logging your plays more because that's what we'll do.
Absolutely.
Number 10, at least in logged plays, is Magic the Gathering, which has 4,448. It is. Usually some of the list,
it's usually in the middle.
I guess everyone hates Magic now.
Man, that's a bummer. Gloomhaven, which recently went full campaign digitally, which I'm imagining is accounting for some of this.
I'm very
is at 4732.
We're playing all of Gloomhaven in a week, in a couple weeks.
We're going to be documenting some of our stuff on BoardGameGeek about how that goes, but next month there will be a lot more plays just because of us.
A lot, like 100 more probably.
Absolutely.
A Seven Wonders Duel has 4,834. It's usually on this list.
Also, we got Lost Ruins of Arnak always on that list at 4955.
Terraforming Mars, just the normal Terraforming Mars, is 6191.
Ooh, we got Wingspan on 6459.
Interesting. Marvel Champions, which is usually number 2, only has 8,048. People hate this game.
Gotta bump those numbers.
Wow, I gotta get those numbers.
You know, it's a game that hit BGA really recently.
Oh, is that right?
Azul!
Did it really?
Guess what? It's way up there on the most played games list.
8127. And then we made a joke about it last month, but now literally 1 and 2 are the 2 crews.
Now the old crew is still number 1 at 9730.
It probably will be for a little while.
We got Mission Deep Sea, the new one, at 8705. I say the second that Mission Deep Sea goes on BGA, it's over.
The crew, it is on BGA.
Oh no, it is.
It is, yeah.
Why aren't we playing the new crew, people?
It's really good. The crew is probably gonna be number 1, number 2 forever. So,
but I'm curious to see when it starts to shift and when the old crew.
Probably soonish. People still have the old crew though, so
they're both great, but the new crew is so good. I forgot they're both on board.
They're both on
Arena. Play the new crew. You're gonna love it.
Indeed. All right, and that is the most played games in our hotness. Let's hop back up for some Merc picks.
So normally for our Merc picks, we choose separate things that we want to talk about. Well, one thing we got to do, this is actually our first time
our Merc pick was the same this month, so we're like, we'll just talk about it together.
We'll talk about it together. We got to go to BoardGameGeek Con, BGG Con, Fall, BGG Fall.
Oh, so
it was our first ever BGG Con.
It was
our first ever convention back
since the dark
since the before times, and it was just a really fantastic week. So I think that was kind of our best thing this month.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Getting to see some people. Everyone at the convention, working and stuff, staff, everyone was really superb.
Yeah, everyone was really great, super nice,
comfortable time.
Everyone was on top of their stuff in terms of like the mask. It was very, very great. And on top of that, it was nice because BGG Con is like a true like playing con.
Oh, yeah,
it's like you're just that there's not like you know, like big Gen Con, all these things. It's like, it's really fun, but there's not too much playing going on because there's shows and there's buying and all stuff.
Yeah.
It's like BGG Con is much more, it's like, hey, you come here to play games and hang out, and that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what we needed.
Oh my gosh, it was the best con as like the first con back because it was just us hanging out with people, sitting around playing games, and it was really, really cool.
It was fantastic.
So the last thing we do is always pick our favorite thing of the month, our favorite game of the month generally. My favorite game I played at BGG Con was probably Wild Space. I really liked Wild Space a lot. This is by Pandasaurus. It's got really beautiful art, and it's a small little engine builder that when you're reading the rulebook and kind of explain to people, it seems really simple. It seems pretty basic, honestly.
It really is kind of simple.
But as you're building out your engine, you're essentially getting crew members and you're trying to reach these different planets, which will allow you to do a couple other things. But mostly what you're doing is kind of set collection. A lot of all the crew members will have like a specialty, and they're also a different kind of animal. And then you'll get emissary cards, which essentially are scoring cards. It might be like, you want pilots and owls. For every set of pilot and owl, you'll get 2 points. So you have all these scoring cards and then all these crew cards, which have all these different symbols on them. And you're just trying to build out your biggest, best score. And it's really tough. It's harder than it seems. And you only have like 10 turns of the whole game. You're kind of like, what am I even going to be able to do in this game?
But you get a surprising amount done.
You do. And it's really, really fun. I liked Wild Space a lot.
My favorite pick was a game that we finally got to play after literally years, and we were like, "Is this even gonna be good?" And then we loved it. It was Coimbra.
It was nice that it was good.
Coimbra.
I was a little worried it was gonna suck.
Of course. I mean, you see it 3 years ago, and want to play it and that's like the last time you remember it being hot, and they play it, and they're like, "This is." Yeah. I'm glad it caught our eye for a reason.
It did.
It was a game that was right to our style. You're bumping up tracks,
going up tracks, love some tracks.
Those tracks give you income. You get that stuff. What do you do with it? Bump more tracks, bump more tracks. It really spoke to me. I think it's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It really is eye-grabbing.
Yeah.
And then it backed up with good gameplay. I was just like, yes!
Yeah.
It works!
Thank God.
It didn't, I built it up for so long. So Coimbra is my pick.
All right, and that is our best of the month. I suppose down in the comments below, let us know what you're excited about in board games. What games are you getting for the holidays? Or rather, you might not know what games you're getting for the holidays, but what are you getting other people for the holidays?
What do you hope to get?
And what was your favorite game in the last 30 days or so? You know, lots of good game going on right now. Hit us in the comments below with all of that, my friends. And until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Nick. We are the Brothers Murph, and we'll see you next month.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.